Good morning, everyone. Pastor Deborah here with the Worship Devotional. We're going to begin today in Luke chapter 8, starting with verses 26 through 39, the demoniac cured. Then they sailed to the country of the Gerasenes, which is opposite Galilee. And when he, Jesus, came out onto the land, he was met by a man from the city who was possessed with demons and who had not put on any clothing for a long time and was not living in a house, but in the tombs. Seeing Jesus, he cried out and fell before him and said in a loud voice, "What business do we have with each other, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I beg you, do not torment me." For Jesus had commanded the unclean spirit to come out of the man. For it had seized him many times, and he was bound with chains and shackles and kept under guard, and yet he would break his bonds and be driven by the demon into the desert. And Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Legion," for many demons had entered him. They were imploring him not to command them to go away into the abyss. Now there was a herd of many swine feeding there on the mountain, and the demons implored him to permit them to enter the swine. And he gave them permission. And the demons came out of the man and entered the swine, and the herd rushed down the steep bank into the lake and was drowned. When the herdsmen saw what had happened, they ran away and reported it in the city and out in the country. The people went out to see what had happened, and they came to Jesus and found the man from whom the demons had gone out sitting down at the feet of Jesus, clothed and in his right mind. If we stop to picture this scene for just a moment, there are two pictures. One is of a herd of swine, demon-possessed, rushing headlong into a lake to their destruction. But there's another picture. There's a picture of a man who had spent a great deal of his life tormented and shackled and bound, sitting now whole and healed and delivered and free at the feet of Jesus. I think sometimes, especially in difficult times in our lives, the enemy's vision is to release rage, defiance, to set us up for confrontation that creates fear with the intended result of pressing us to run blindly into his path for our destruction. But there's another picture. With Jesus, there's always a better picture, a wonderful picture, a better vision. God's vision is for us to be seated with Jesus, saved, delivered, forgiven, healed, whole, and free. Luke 8:36 through 39. Those who had seen it reported to them how the man who was demon-possessed had been made well. And all the people of the country of the Gerasenes and the surrounding district asked him to leave them, for they were gripped with great fear. And he got into a boat and returned. But the man from whom the demons had gone out was begging him that he might accompany him. But Jesus sent him away, saying, "Return to your house and describe what great things God has done for you." So he went away, proclaiming throughout the whole city the great things that Jesus had done for him. There were two pictures, and there are two plans. The enemy's plan. The enemy's plan is to deceive us into believing that we don't need Jesus, to influence us to dismiss him, to send him away, even when Jesus has clearly done everything possible to demonstrate his love for us, even when we hear his voice calling us, even when the Holy Spirit is prompting us to come close to him. There's God's plan. God's plan is for us to receive Jesus, to believe and to testify to the amazing work of God in our lives. We get to choose. When we choose Jesus and when we seek him, we always find him faithful and powerful and good. We find that he's able to intimately provide for our needs until we are sitting with him, fully clothed in his robe of righteousness, in our right mind, experiencing experiencing the potential of living transformed with the mind of Christ. The demonic went his way, proclaiming throughout the city the great things that Jesus had done for him. David often found his strength in remembering and proclaiming the great things that God had done for him. In Psalm 9, it is thought that David is remembering and reflecting on his great victory over Goliath. The first 3 verses of Psalm 9. I will give thanks to the Lord with all my heart. I will tell of all your wonders. I will be glad and exult in you. I will sing my praise to your name, O Most High. When my enemies turn back, they stumble and perish before me. Let us enter into worship, remembering that because of the cross, the enemy perishes before us. Let us allow the joy of being with Jesus to fill us to overflowing with praise. Let us enter worship giving thanks with all our hearts, praising and exalting our God of wonders, the Most High, the most wonderful, the most holy, the most loving Jesus Christ.